Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir.
I've got something mixed up. I'm going to see if I can find what I did wrong. I've got down to a small screen.
Oh, okay.
But I'm working on it.
All right. We'll give you a few minutes.
No, you go ahead. I can hear.
Who else we have on the call? Michelle, good to see you. Brenda, Miss Catherine.
Good to see you too.
Jacob, thanks for being on the call. Oh, while I got you guys on here, hey, don't forget trainings for this week. Very, very cool classes. As you can see with my Brokermint that's up here with Kai Noble with America's Preferred Home Warranty, talking to what's going to talk to you guys about why it's really important to get a home warranty. So I really look forward to seeing you guys on that phone call tomorrow and hopefully even Thursday as well too. So some really informative stuff that she wants to pass on to us. So spread the word to anybody else that wants to join in on the call. So, what'd you guys think about? Anybody watch the big game last night? Did your team win?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
Watched a little bit.
Tampa Bay won. It's going to be hard to beat somebody that's got 6 Super Bowl rings already.
Well, 7 now.
Yeah. He's almost got enough for every finger.
Pretty much, man. I tell you what, though, he really, I was really hoping, I mean, of course, everybody else too was talking about the game would be much closer, but it definitely wasn't a close game.
No. A lot of people lost a lot of money on that game.
Yeah, a lot of people betting on Kansas City to win. There's a lot of unhappy people. All right, so we're still waiting on Steve and Betty Gable to hop on. Hopefully they'll get here just shortly. All right, guys, so what we're going to cover in this one, so I appreciate you guys coming in on Monday. I apologize for having to cancel on Thursday. I had I guess, a little bout of some food poisoning, so it put me down for about 48 hours.
Wow. Sorry.
So was not a fun feeling having to deal with that. So, but I'm much better now and ready to, help you guys out with doing some Brokermint e-signature. I know this tends to be kind of the conundrum with using this system, but I don't mind teaching you guys how to use it, hopefully in different ways, maybe kind of clear up the mud that's, kind of keeping you from, moving forward and, not being able to, navigate it properly. So. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can find the transaction I've been working with, and we'll work off that one. We don't really need to go through creating a transaction with you guys. Man, that's crazy how this computer tends to run slow. No. So let's work on it. Now, first thing first is, of course, you guys know, in order to do any type of signing package, you're going to have to upload a checklist. And you can work with any checklist. I prefer that if you're going to do the sign-in package with anything, at least be working within a package. If you've got a listing, go ahead and load the listing package. If you've got a buyer's package, you're working with a buyer, go ahead and work with the seller checklist. or the buyer checklist. I apologize. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one out. Nah, we'll just leave it. Let's just go ahead and play around with sales package on the buyer side. And again, whatever form you want to work with, or if you, for purposes of like, you just need a specific thing signed. If you just need it, what I did was I created a little sign-in package, number 11. If you just need something that's not on that particular list that you want to use. So again, it's just loading something in the correct place that you just feel comfortable working with. Because I know with some people, there's kind of a stumbling block of, well, where do I start on doing a sign-in package? You can start anywhere. And what I usually do is I start on a recad because it's just the first one in the list, even though the wire fraud form's up there. I just go up and hit the use forms. Sorry if I'm moving a little too fast. I'm just going to slow down a little bit for you guys. So right here, I've got recad highlighted. I go over here to the use forms block right here and I click it. And we're going to go into whatever library we need to go into. And so in this case, we're working with a buyer's contract. And we can pick one or multiple forms. Okay. Now, usually two of the most important forms are a recad and a buyer's agency. So let's just go ahead and just work with those two right now, because that's the ultimate thing we want to work on and, get our agency, get our client under agency. So let's get a buyer agency agreement. And we have our recad right here. Now, if you want to pick anything else, if you got to get a sales contract, by all means, go ahead and get the sales contract in there. Everything's already got the blocks in it for you to fill out. I'm just using this as a simple training tool at the moment, just to show you can use any form, okay? And again, I know sometimes there's a bit of a mental block. I say a mental block because there's a couple agents that I have worked with. They, for whatever reason, can't get past the mental block of going, okay, well, why is it called? Why did I do the recad? Well, that's just the first one I'm working with, but you can work off any form. It's okay. It's not a big deal, because when I split these things off, if I want to call them anything else, you can call them anything else and put them where you need to. But again, we're working with specific forms. So again, we got buyer agency and the recad. And if you choose multiple forms, you can change the order of these forms. So your client can see them if you want your client to see them in a proper order, you can rearrange them as needed. And also too, Brokermint's giving you the opportunity, if there's any other forms you might have forgotten, it's giving you the opportunity to choose a couple more forms. So in this, with this, we're not going to choose any more forms. We're just going to work with the recad and buyer agency. We're going to click next. Let's see, we're only going to deal with one buyer. And of course, a buyer agent would be you, the agent. And for the recad, we're just going to choose the block here for single agent, the name of the licensee, the agent. I think, let's see. And if there's any of these blocks here that you don't need, just click on the block and you could trash it. So if you just need to get rid of it, don't want to confuse yourself, you can remove it. And so again, these things have been mapped in on the backside from us, and you're just filling information. And I'm trying to do what I can to help you guys out and help in getting this information here pre-filled, just to cut, again, just a couple of step saving for you guys. I had to count it on my fingers. All right, since we're only working with the 2 pages, we're already done with signing, with filling in all our blocks. Now, very important, and I can't stress it enough because, again, I've come across it with a couple agents before. If you save and close it and then try to email it, let me show you. We just save and close from here. All it's doing is just saving what you just did. All right, you see there's an email option here. This email option does not do the e-sign process. If you try to email it from here, all you're doing is just sending what you just filled out. And if you think it's going to be an e-sign, it's not. It's only going to send, for whatever reason, I've had a couple agents do it, it sends garbled information. So it sends a little bit of the information you just filled out. So this isn't the point where you send it out for e-signature. You have to go back in, and then you see right here, it says edit e-sign. We're going to go back into our package. In order to send it for signature, you have to click this down button here, and you see send for signature. This is going to build everything properly for you guys. I'll tell you what. I need to go back and add in my contact real quick. So that was my fault. Let's go here to users contacts. Add in, there's Joe Agent there. Lots of fellas popular. All right, now we got our proper person in there. Go back.
Chris,
Yes.
you know what you could do that would help us sometimes while trying to follow you around on this?
Mm-hmm.
Go to your pointer properties on your mouse and put the echo trail, put the trails on it.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and do that.
You've got one item that's, so you got 2 of them on the screen right now. One of them that's part of the program that don't move, and then then it'll throw you off sometimes. Then trying to look for your mouse, which is identical to it instead of a different color. Or the,
all right, I'll change it, Steve. Thank you very much. I'll get that done after the class.
Okay.
So I had to go back in and add my contact because I didn't have it earlier. So now I've got my proper contacts. Now I can send it out for signature. So there's Chris right there. All right. And always, guys, don't check the box for a signer order, because if you signer order, it's just going to mess up the process. It's first come, first serve. Just leave it as it is. First come, first serve to get the, so that way it just expedites the signing process. As far as the subject, there's really no need to change that subject. It's going to say in the subject line when it sends the email to please sign the documents. And if you just want to add a little bit of message in the message box here, please go ahead. There's really no reason to make any changes, take this out or change it. Just leave it as be. You can add to it if need be. Now we're satisfied with everything. We will hit sign and send. Now, since I put myself as a signer, it's building the e-signature because I'm the buyer's agent. So as long as you've got yourself as a signer on there as the agent, this is what you will see when you sign.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
On the screen before, you said you can add in, any message that you want to. Does it automatically put in the contact's name? It said like dear, and then it had, brackets, signer, does it fill in the person's name, or do we need to go back in and edit that?
It should fill in the signer's name.
Okay.
I mean, as long as there's a contact on there, it should have their name.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So we see this signer package here. Hit click the Get Started. And it goes down to the required field. We see the click to sign right here. I always tell your clients to make sure that they can see it. Hopefully they're not using their phone to sign it. Because I found that if they're trying to do it from their phone, it can be a bit difficult. So hopefully they're using a PC to do all this. It's just easier to type it in. Of course, they can change the font if they want to, make it a little bit better. And so if they're satisfied with that, they hit the insert. Now we've completed all the required fields. Continue. I agree. Right now, I will say when it does send to a client, whatever mail service they're using, and I'm going to show you what happens with the Gmail, especially with my Gmail, because the contact that I'm using for the buyer is my personal email. And for whatever reason, Brokermint sends it to a promotions tab that I have, and which I'm about to show you guys. So I'm gonna open my personal email. And so the reason I say that is to tell clients, if it doesn't show up in their main box, tell them to look in a spam box. If they've got any other tabs or folders that they get emailed, to go ahead and check any of those folders, because it could be sitting in there. I don't know why it doesn't send it directly to the proper inbox. I just don't have an answer for that one. Just tell them to make sure to check all other tabs and folders. Gmail's running a bit slow. And as you see, because there's that promotions tab right here, and here it is right here. It showed up. Please sign documents. So again, just be patient with them. Hopefully, it's taken a little bit of time, or it's gone somewhere else instead of their primary inbox. Okay. Now, so it's here. You just tell they'll go through the process. They'll click the email. They'll do click review and sign. And again, I apologize for this thing running a tad slow. And you'll see it's building it the same way it did earlier when we added ourselves as the agent when I signed earlier. They'll click the blue box to get started. Click for the signature here. And then hopefully they'll see where they can insert their signature everywhere, which makes it easier instead of having to click each individual box. There's an initial box, so we'll leave that as it is. As I move through, everything's done. And what I can show you on this, I'll go back to Brokermint. You can see here, it says waiting on signatures. If you want to check to see what the process is, if you look over here under e-signatures, you can click it. You can see I already signed it as the agent. Even though I just signed it as the buyer client, it does say sent, but you can refresh it. This is how you can keep up if folks, have either viewed it or, if they're having problems, you can kind of see what's going on. There's different ways of tracking this. I'm waiting for the refresh. And it's already saying it's all signed. So sometimes it will say, you'll see it's been viewed by the client, and then it's in the process of signing. So you can kind of keep up with that process. All right, now since we've got two forms in here, we have the RECAD and a buyer agency. So we're going to need to make sure that the RECAD, of course, the RECAD's already in here. We can't just say we can't copy this and put it in the buyer agency, because when it gets checked by the staff, they're going to reject it because there's two forms in there. So you have to split these apart. Excuse me. What we're going to do is we're going to unassign this, and it's going to put it into the unsorted section of the document. So we highlight it, and then we unassign it. And again, it's not deleting it. It's putting it into the unsorted section. As you see, what I'm going to show you is you go under Assets and Documents and Unsorted. When it does come up. There we go. Now, anything that doesn't have a home yet goes into the unsorted document section. And this would be where we would split our documents up. And we can see you got signed 4 pages, but we're only going to split 2 out. The additional 2 pages, which I'll show you, is the audit trail of how everything was signed. And if you need that for whatever reason to show it to somebody to say, hey, you know, I need to see the audit trail of how it was signed, because I know dealing from, you know, some of you have used DocuSign in the past, or even probably still maybe using, hopefully not, but if you are, I would hope you make the change, you know, from Transaction Desk, even DocuSign to here, because again, everything's all in-house. There's really no reason to go, especially with these outsourced systems where you're going to have to download it. You're going to have to upload it in the Brokermint. Save yourself the steps. Do everything from Brokermint. So what I'm showing you is the additional 2 pages. Here is the audit trail in case you ever need it. Tells you when it was sent, when it was viewed. See, when I viewed it, when I signed it, when Chris viewed it, Chris Watson, when he viewed it, signed it, and then when everything was completed. So there is your audit trail. Now we'll go back. Now this is how we'll split the documents up. Go under this second box here, the edit, and we'll go to split. Wait for everything to populate in this box on the left here. Now always pay attention to this, what I'm circling right here, page 104. Okay, this is how you're going to keep up with your page counts. Now, since we have the checklist uploaded, which is the buyer's checklist, we can tell the document where they need to go. So page 1, this is a single page document. And I know it's an OCD thing. I just make sure it's that single page document. So that's our recad. So from page 1 to page 1, since we're splitting this one single page document out, and this is the recad. There it is right there. Once you start typing, it'll start auto-populating. Just click it and then make sure that the document name, make sure that it's going in the right place. It's going to the sales package buyer side. This is the recad. Then the second page, that's our buyer agency. Again, that is a single page document. So that's page 2. Page 2. And we'll start typing in buyer. And then of course you see got buyer agency and the buyer's acknowledgement. Now this is the buyer agency. We'll click it. Now just in case, make sure that if I'm using my finger to point, I should use the arrow here. Kind of just someone chuckled. Pay attention and make sure that this isn't showing red. Because if you made a mistake and it's showing red, it will probably say unsorted. And once you hit that split button, what it's going to do, it's going to send it into the unsorted section because you didn't tell it exactly where it needed to go. Even though you are splitting it, it's going to split it into the unsorted documents. Because again, you didn't tell it specifically where to go. It's just going to place it in the unsorted document section because it was like, well, Brokermint didn't know where to put it. So it automatically puts it in that unsorted section for you. But it's easy to go back and tell it where it needs to go. Now we're satisfied. Page 1 and 2, and we will click split. Now, the cool thing is, guys, if you need this document again or whatever multiple page document you're messing with, it will always be here for you to split something out. Let's say, give an example. Let's say you did a signing package and you missed a spot where you needed to put a signature. And for whatever reason, I mean, you just went through and you just missed it. What you can do is you can go through, you can split that single document out, put it over here. And again, I'm pointing at the screen with my hands. you can go in, split the one document out, and put it over here in the unsorted section and do another e-signature process. So I hope I'm not confusing you guys, but there's different ways you can get stuff done within Brokermint without having to physically print it out, take one sheet out, scan it back in, and then start the e-signature process. Just leave everything here in Brokermint where it's easier to keep up with, because I'd hate for you to print something out and then whatever reason it get lost in the shuffle, get lost in the folder, you misplace it, and then you've got to start a whole process over again. So just keep everything centralized in Brokermint. All right, now we go back into the sales package as we split our two documents. Got your recad here, so let's just make sure it is the proper form. That's the proper form, and then there's our buyer agency, and that's in there. Now, of course, a question has come up as well too. Chris, what do I do when I have a document that's been rejected and I need to replace that document? Same instance where we had the two forms when I had the recad, when I did it with the recad form and the buyer agency. What you can do is you can simply unassign it from that part of that checklist. So let's say you had something here. Let's go, I'm just going to use an example. Let's make sure, let's see, it's a repair addendum. Whatever reason, let's say the repair addendum was rejected by the staff that says, okay, that wasn't a repair addendum. Okay, well, no need to panic. Again, you just highlight it. And again, I don't have the box up here to show. I can just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to my recap because that's where the unassigned box is. You just go into whatever form it is, look for that unassigned box, click it and unassign it. And that's what I'm going to do here again is unassign this form, take it out. Now that allows you to re-upload the correct form that you need. And again, unassigning does not delete it. It just puts it in that unsorted document section. I just like to lovingly call it document limbo. These documents don't know where to go yet. See, I have it here. This was the form that I unassigned. Why is Gene raising his hand? You trying to turn upside? You trying to stretch?
Just stretching.
All right, just want to make sure. All right, so you see, guys, unassigning, again, it doesn't delete it. The only way it's going to get deleted is if you go over here to edit and hit the delete button. So nothing's ever going to disappear unless you actually physically delete it out of Brokermint. So let's just go ahead and reassign. You got this box here that says assign to, and you got everywhere, all the spots on the checklist where you can assign a particular form. So in this instance, this is the recad. We find our recad. There it is. It takes it out from its unsorted section. We go back into the sales package, and there's our recad, which has been assigned to the proper point on the checklist. Always, guys, do not forget, always submit your forms so they can be approved. Because if you just have where it's just uploaded, you've only done 90% of what you need to do. You got to hit the submit button in order for it to be approved. And so when you see pending approval, you're good to go. Staff on the backside can check the proper forms, make sure everything's good, get you on your way, get you on the closer to closing, get that closing package list uploaded and get your commission. Now, I know that was kind of a quick way to show you how to do an e-sign package. Is there any confusion? Is there any questions?
You said edit, delete was to take the whole thing out. Did you say that? Did I misunderstand that?
Yes, if you want to physically delete something out of the transaction, you will have to go, you can actually do it from here. Like when I do an unassigned does not delete it. It just puts it in the unsorted section. The only way to delete something is to physically delete. You see, you got this delete box here. That's the only way it will ever be deleted is if you physically delete it from the transaction. When you unassign, it just puts it in the unsorted section because, again, you haven't told the form where to go yet. Any forms that sit, as I click on documents and unsorted, anything that sits here hasn't been told where to go yet. And like say, let's say, let me go through and see if I think I have a file in here. Let me see. What I'm trying to look for is a Brokermint training file that I've uploaded in the past. There it is. That's what I was looking for.
So we have a Brokermint training already in our system.
No. This Brokermint sales contract example this was something that I've already made. I made this like probably well over a year and a half ago.
Okay.
All this was an example of a full sales contract. I mean, it's got the sales contract, buyer's agency, RECAD, lead-based paint in here. All this was just a training form, just to show you guys how to split a multiple page document. This is all that is. That's why some stuff's been redacted out of it. It's just a training file that I've used in the past. And actually, I can kind of show you if there was something in here you needed specifically out, you missed. So let's say, let me go through here. Let's do this. Let me split. All I'm going to do is I'm going to split a single document out of here. Again, I'm going back to the example where I said earlier was, let's say you went through here, you built the package out. You know, when I say built the package, you built a sales contract in here. You did everything that you needed to get signed for sent to your client. And for whatever reason, you missed a particular block to get signed. And that actually happened to me last week. So this is using as a live example. So let me try to go through here and just find something to pull out and show you that there's no need to print this whole thing out to take one single document out. You can split out a single document from this full 28 pages. And this is going quite slow because the computer is quite slow. Let's just use, let's say we needed to add something in this personal property addendum. Okay. So now this is page 14 again. As I circle where my cursor is, I got page 14 of 28. So I'm going to isolate this one page out of this 28 pages because I missed something. So I'm just checking to make sure that's page 14. That's why I keep rolling up and down. See, there's 15 right there. So that's page 14. So I go here from page 14 to 14. And let's say, and what I want to do is I'm going to create a new document. So I just click new here and make sure, this has happened before, is make sure that you're dealing with the right checklist, because what this did was this opened up the closing package checklist. So just make sure, keep an eye on where you're putting this document. So just click, let's put it in the sales package. Let's task name, let's just call it personal property addendum. All right, so that is our document name. It's going in the sales package, personal property addendum. Again, it's just the one page I need because I made a mistake on it. Let's split it out. Now, if I didn't name it, it would have put it here in the unsorted documents. I'm gonna go to my sales package. Go down, there's my personal property addendum there that has been uploaded. There's the preview there. Now let's go into e-sign. Add a signer, let's add Chris. Because let's say I forgot to put on the personal property addendum. Think of. And all I'm doing here, guys, because I got to add in, because since I split this out in the beginning, when it was set up in the beginning, all the blocks were there. Now, since I split this document out on its own, I've now got to place everything in. When I say place everything in, I've got to highlight the text here because I need a text box. Let's stretch it out. So let's say lawn equipment. Let's say he wants to see if he can get the lawn equipment. I'm kind of drawing a blank on what else we would want to put in here because everything else is covered in a personal property addendum. And let's say, oh, trying to think. Just give me an idea of what else you could put on a personal property addendum. Let's say, I mean, just you forgot something. What would be an example?
Pool equipment.
Pool equipment. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Is that Gene?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Gene. You get the prize for today. I don't know what the prize is. I'll figure it out. But so, okay. So thanks, Gene, for that. So let's say, one of the lawn equipment, there's and of course, it would help if I spelled everything correctly. So, and then now I got to make sure, so I put my text box. Let's go over here to the check box. Let's put a check box here for the remain, and we can resize it. Here we go. We can resize it, make sure it's not too big of a check box. Put the other one over here. We'll check it. And then just to make sure, even though we already got, we got signatures, we made a change to it. We click our signature box here. And then our date box. Let's go ahead and add it over there. Now, I really wish Brokermint would work on, because you just saw that when I clicked the date box and it was the same length box as the signature box. So I had to resize it. I really wish it would just stay this one size, and so it wouldn't have to go and make changes to it. All right, so all I did, guys, split off the document, added in. I clicked my text box up here to add in the two text boxes. I clicked the check box so I can make the checks on the boxes for remain. Then I added the signature box and the date box. So everything looks good here. Again, don't hit save and close. Click the down button, send for signature. It's only going to send to Chris. I don't need to sign it as the agent. There's Chris Watson. Let's send it to him. Wait for it to generate the emails. All right, now you see it here as I'm highlighting the box, personal property addendum, it's uploaded. Now it's waiting for the signatures. Let's go back into the email here. It's back out. I'm all on Gmail. This. Oh, and also too, can't believe I forgot, because what made me remember was seeing the new email from Avast right there. And that should be a copy. And that's another cool thing about what Brokermint does. Brokermint sends the final signed document to everybody that participated in the signing package. So that cuts the step for you, the agent, of having to download it, send it, send an email to everybody that's participated in the signing process. Brokermint does that for you guys. So just another reason to use Brokermint for the signing process. As you see it here, hello, Chris Watson. This is the document signed by all parties. So there's the final copy right there. So it's just a really cool thing just to use Brokermint for signing purposes. All right, so please sign documents. What are we driving back? I'm just messing with Tony on our new agents back there. All right, so review and sign. Let's go see if we can sign something. Oh, I need more speed. There we go. Finally doing it. All right, so as we did earlier, click the blue box to get started. And it goes right to click the sign. We'll type it in for Chris. The Watson there. And already got the date there. Agree. Close it out. Oh, Audrey, was that your question earlier? Sorry, I just saw it in the chat. Oh, Audrey dropped out. All right, now I'm going to refresh my screen. And it still says waiting signatures. Yeah. See, you see there, it does say signed pending. So it's just waiting, the system just updating it. So we'll just refresh again. Still waiting. Oh, Brokermint. Nice. Sorry for that little hiccup there, guys. There we go. After several times of refreshing, now you see the personal property addendum that we split out on its own is now completely signed. It's uploaded. All we need to do now is submit it for approval. Hopefully, I want to say simple as that, but I know sometimes it's not quite that simple. But hopefully that just shows you guys that, again, if you forget something, it's just easy to split it out, create a new point on the checklist to put that particular form in, and then get everything done that you need to get done with it. So hopefully that clears up some stuff about e-signature. If there's any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them. Nothing? We all good? Miss Catherine, you good?
I think so. If not, I got your phone number.
Oh yes, ma'am. Definitely got my phone number. Definitely. And I can do a screen share with you, and just do a quick one-on-one. So that, yeah, again, I'm here for you guys. Soon as this is available, I'll put it up on the YouTube page. Guys, make sure there's plenty of stuff on that YouTube page if you need to go back and do some reviewing. Also, don't mind going back and reviewing this. I know this is just one of those e-signatures, just one of those little deals or situations, just kind of hard to kind of wrap your head around sometimes. But the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it, you can get it. Have faith in you guys. Also, again, don't forget to sign up for tomorrow's class with Ms. Kai Noble with America's Preferred Home Warranty. She teaches you guys how important home warranties are and how they can help you out in actually getting listings and getting buyers. So really interesting. I know with we're just into February, about to get things more kicked off for the spring buyer season, which is very fast approaching. I can't thank you guys enough for being on the call. Brenda, Mr. Dean, Catherine, Jacob, Miss Michelle, thank you very much for being on the call.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, and Steve, thank you very much for that tip. And we'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Boo Thing.
Thank you, Boo Bear.
Go off. Okay, now I'm gonna go.